Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining Karen and I. My name is Soila. I'm the founder and editor of the divorcemagazine.co.uk, as well as helping children cope with divorce.co.uk. Well, helping children cope.co.uk. Today we have Karen, and I'll let Karen introduce herself. I won't tell you much more because I'm sure she can do a much better job than I can. Hi, Karen.
Hi, hello, I'm Karen Agnew-Griffith. I am at Woolley & Co Solicitors. I've been with this firm about 10 years and I've been practicing in family law just coming up to 30 years.
Okay. And Karen, today, one of the main reasons, I mean, it's a really quick interview because I just wanted to have a quick recap on what has gone on with the whole Wyatt and Vince case versus Vince. I think most people would be familiar with it in terms of, Mrs. Wyatt, I guess. I'm not sure, or Miss Wyatt. Maybe you can tell us, actually, you're the lawyer. Maybe you can tell us what had happened in that case, in the previous, when it came into life.
Of course. Quick summary. They were married. It wasn't a long marriage. They were divorced in I think it was the early 90s. At that time, they had, I think it was one child, but at the time of divorce, they had no assets at all. They separated. He went off on a frolic of his own. She stayed at home, living in quite poor circumstances, raising the child without any financial support from him. 20 plus years later, he has made a fortune in wind farms. He's particularly wealthy. She, on the other hand, is still living in very poor circumstances. She has raised the child of the marriage and subsequent children without financial support. And she is saying that she now needs help. At the time of their divorce many years ago, 20 plus years ago, there was no financial settlement of any description. And now she's coming not with a begging bowl, but with a bowl, saying, please, I think you owe me.
Yeah. Okay.
And the court have agreed, in fact, that she is owed, but nothing like the amount that she is expecting.
Okay.
My personal view is that she will get something, but it will be of modest size.
Okay. Because what was she requesting in terms of sum from?
I think her proposal was that she wanted 1.9 million.
Okay. All right. Because he is a millionaire now. He's done quite well.
He's a multi-millionaire, yes.
Multi-millionaire, yeah. Okay, so with this interview, it's basically trying to figure out what it means now, because if the courts have actually said yes to her, even if she gets £5, the bottom line is that the courts have said, yes, you can come back after so many years because there wasn't a financial settlement and you can now pursue this settlement and get it done now. My question to you is, what does that mean today for couples who are going through divorce?
Well, to be honest, the situation hasn't changed drastically in as much as lawyers have always said to clients, and courts and judges have always said to clients that they should try to resolve financial claims at the time of their divorce. There has always been or you really ought not to ignore this. Don't go away divorced, but don't deal with the financial claims. I've had situations where financial claims have been made 7 years after a divorce, involving, multiples of millions. So there's always been that situation there. I think what's remarkable about this case is that it wasn't a long marriage. At the time of the divorce, there were no assets. And this is many, many years later.
Yeah.
But I think this case is going to be treated in the same way as any other. The facts of the case are always unique. I think the uniqueness of this particular situation is his remarkable wealth, her remarkable poverty, and the fact that she did make a contribution, something that Section 25 of the Matrimonial Causes Act 1973 says we have to take into account. She has made a contribution in raising that child without financial support from the father.
Okay. Can I just ask you really quickly, Karen, what does make a contribution actually entail? What does it mean? In this case, we know it's the child.
It can be anything. I've had cases whereby a mother has lived in a wife has lived in a property that was in joint names. Husband left that property. never paid for its upkeep, never paid anything towards the mortgage, and 20 years later has come back saying, well, I know you've paid the mortgage off now, I'd like to force you to sell.
Wow.
And the husband's view then was, it's the wife's payment of the mortgage during that 20 years. It was the wife's contribution in maintaining the property that has meant the property is now available to be sold. Mm-hmm. So in that particular case, what the judge did was he asked us to secure a valuation as to what the property would have been worth at the date of separation, and gave the wife all of the growth on the property up to that point and half of the value of the property at the point of separation. So contribution can be something like looking after a property. Okay. It can also be, it's well understood that a parent who is looking after children post-separation is making a contribution that a parent who is not looking after the children day to day and is able to work perhaps full-time, pursue a career, that the parent with the care of the children, looking after the child in school holidays, looking after the children when they're sick, perhaps can't pursue a career and is left with a more lowly paid, less of a career opportunity type situation. Okay. So the parent then who is looking after the children is making a contribution in that way. And so quite often on a divorce, you will quantify what the total assets are, and you will give the parent with the children, whether it's husband or wife, you will give them an extra few percentage of the total asset.
Yeah. And sorry, did you want to say something?
No, that was it.
Okay. And so in this situation, can you actually say, since let's say the notice 2000, that pensions and property are actually gaining equivalent importance when it comes to divorce settlements, that people are becoming more aware of the value of pensions than they were previously?
Yes, I don't think pensions have changed. They've always been very valuable before the 2000s and since. It's just that people are now aware of the effects of them. People are living longer. They're suddenly aware that they're going to have a poor retirement if they haven't got a decent pension fund. The value of the state pension has fallen. We've had a lot of years of opting out so that there's less additional state pension. And people generally have been untrusting of pensions and have invested less in pension pots, in the last 15 years. So basically people seem to have the money to purchase type pensions are of reduced value. But we've had the situation whereby government workers, civil servants, nurses, doctors, teachers, members of the armed forces, police officers, firefighters, they've all had defined benefits, final salary schemes, and those are worth vast sums, often vastly more than the value of any home that the parties will own. So, and wives are beginning to understand that they're certainly going to live as long as their husbands, possibly longer, and they need that retirement. They need those funds.
Karen, that final question. If I came to you as a client, I'm going through divorce, we have a house, and he's got the pension, property, what would you?
Well, they're very different. Apples and bananas, apples and oranges. Yes. The court would say the property, the money in the property is what we call a liquid asset. You could sell it, go out and buy lots of sweets. With the pension, up until the recent changes, it was very difficult to cash it in. It was regarded as an illiquid asset. The recent changes means that there is more liquidity in a pension, but you still have to be over 50. Realistically, you're only going to take £30,000 because after that, the tax that you would pay is punitive. So there is a little bit more liquidity in a pension, but no, frankly, you need both.
Okay.
So a smaller house and a
pension. Okay. And recent changes, by recent changes, you mean the fact that you can actually get money out of your pension. You don't have to purchase an annuity.
You don't have to. You now have that choice. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Karen, thank you so very much for taking the time to speak with us. Okay. Take care. And if anyone wanted to contact you, Karen, how can they go about that?
They should ring me. 01842 779905, or the website, Family Law Firm, and you can contact every one of the lawyers. My photo is there, my contact details are there, my email is there. Please do get in touch.
Great. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.